Maybe is okay, great. Let's go ahead and get started because I know that we just have about 45 minutes here. So thank you everyone for joining to our Passle beginner training and a bit of a refresh. So I know that there's quite a few of you on that may have been involved with our original pilot last. It's crazy to think that it was last spring, and we're coming up on the year mark here. And then there have been a number of you who have joined Passle since then, in the past 6 months or so, and certainly a big influx here since the beginning of the year when we started our second push. So what we thought we'd do today is do some beginner training for anyone who's interested. We also have the more advanced training next week, and it's just up to you. Both of them will be recorded, so they'll be available to you. Later on, you can refresh yourself or catch up either way. So just quickly, wanted to just give a little bit of background. We started a pilot with Passle, like I said, about a year ago with about 25 users. I think we're up to just over 60 now, Sabrina, keep me straight, which is exciting. We've had some really great traction with it. It is a big investment for us in the business. It does align to not only our goals as a marketing team, but our goals as a business. So it's an opportunity for us to leverage our thought leadership and our subject matter experts into all of our marketing campaigns and then beyond that. So it's not only brand awareness for the organization, but it's also personal brand awareness for you. So I really hope that you jump on board it and really leverage it for both of those reasons. Just on the call today, just to give you an idea, I'm Amy McManus. I'm the global head of marketing operations. And from my team, we have Sabrina Jess, who will be our Passle administrator going forward. She's going to take you through some of the great work she's already done to really make sure that we give you guys all the tools you need to be successful with Passle. And then we also have from Passle, Olivia and Sarah. They are our support team, and they've been an amazing partner or partners for the past year. And they will be on this call and next call taking us through the training. So I'll hand it over. We will do questions at the end if that's okay, just so we can get through all of the basics here, and then happy to open it up afterward. And we've built in some time for that.
Thank you, Amy. So everyone on this call is either already a Passle user or just about to embark on their Passle journey. In the tech industry, early adopters are referred to as lighthouse customers. As our lighthouse Passlers, we thank you for serving as a beacon of light for the rest of AMS. Your support is an integral part of our growth. So we launched Passle in April 2022, and in less than a year, we have already achieved more than 200 Passle posts with more than 16,000 post views, in excess of 6,000 social referrals, more than 900 profile page views, and more than 50 Client Connect subscribers. You'll learn more about Client Connect in the advanced session, but essentially it is a newsletter tool that allows readers to subscribe to your AMS expert insights. So many of our experts have already produced amazing thought leadership content. Our most prolific user, Jim Sykes, has published 23 Passle posts, garnering more than 5,000 views, 2,000 social referrals, and resulted in more than 250 views of Jim's personal profile. Jim's posts have been particularly strong, using a variety of blog content types, from frequently asked questions to should ask questions, to what's in the news commentary, opinion pieces, events, and wider campaign-related content. Paul Modley's use of Passle is exemplary in terms of consistently publishing relevant insights, especially those related to topical content, what's in the news, and what's trending in this space. Paul has published 37 Passle posts, achieving more than 3,600 views, 1,700 social referrals, and more than 50 views of his personal profile. Back in December, Tracy Sorgan, our client director for EMEA, published her first post on neurodiversity as a member of that ERG. The Unlocking the Potential of Neurodiverse Talent in Your Workforce post was picked up by HR Magazine and was then shared by folks in the neurodiverse world and widely on LinkedIn. We're sure you'll agree this is very inspiring and a great testament to the power of passing your AMS expert insights. And with that, we'll hand over to our Passle experts, Sarah and Olivia, to explore everything Passle.
Great. Thank you so much, Sabrina. Hi, everyone. I'm Olivia, like Amy said at the beginning. I work with the client success team. My colleague Sarah is here as well from the client success team. And really, we help launch lots of clients onto Passle, lots of experts just like yourselves, but also help them make the most of the platform. Like we said, questions at the end. If you have any really burning questions, please do feel free to pop them in the chat box, and Sarah will be manning that throughout the session. But I'll just get started by sharing my screen. Now, hopefully everybody can see that.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so the AMS Experts Insights page, some of you may have seen, but essentially it's a page that hosts all of the fantastic content that's going to be written by yourselves, but also already written by lots of your colleagues at AMS. And really what we're going to run through today is how to create content using the Passle platform, how to then use that content to engage with your networks, whether that's on LinkedIn, whether that's on a one-to-one basis. And then finally, just a quick refresh and recap on how to get you set up with the Passle button and get you start to create content. So we work with lots of professional services firms, just like yourselves, and really these have two things in common. There's lots of very, very busy people like yourselves who maybe don't have all the time in the world to sit and write big, lengthy pieces of thought leadership, but also people who have lots of fantastic knowledge, just like you, lots of knowledge that your clients really need to know about. So what do these clients want to know? Well, clients really need information and insight, and that information is something that you have an abundance of. So if you look at the stat from Google, we see that 60% of a buying decision is made before even contacting the provider. And that's the same for your clients as well. They're looking for information that you have, that you know, in order to make a decision and start working with you. And from this information that's available, experts are always the #1 ranked source of information. So your clients really want to hear directly from yourselves. And this is a great opportunity for you to make sure that information is out there. And then finally, when we look at content that performs really well on LinkedIn, but like with any other thought leadership content, it's useful, so it really pulls out the key things that your clients need to know. It's brief and it's concise and to the point, and it's also effectively distributed. So it's going to the places where your network is. So where are those people that are important to you, and how are you going to get it out to those people? Now, Passle is, of course, a piece of technology, but there's really a process behind what you can do with Passle. And really, it starts with listening to your clients, but also listening to what's going on in your industry. Then using that information to create really deliberate, insightful content, and then engaging with the people in your networks with that content. Now, the idea with this is you get this wheel spinning and you really build your personal profile as a trusted advisor in your industry. And hopefully that leads to revenue and growth as well. But really, it's all about building your profile as an individual, but also the profile of AMS as a firm, and really highlighting the fantastic knowledge you have within the firm. So Passle really solves this issue by making it really quick to create content, really in a few minutes. It's easy to be reactive to what's going on in your industry, to what you're hearing from clients. And Passle also provides you with lots of detailed statistics around your posts. So just like Sabrina pulled out at the beginning, you can see how many reads your post's getting, how it's performing online, and it really closes the loop for you and hopefully inspires you to keep creating that thought leadership content. So let's go straight on to how to create content. Now, the first way we're going to look at is on a commentary basis. Now, this is great for being really reactive to stories and updates from within your industry. So to write a commentary post is really simple. You could be reading something online, whether it's in on a news website just like this. Maybe it's a more industry specific source, but all you need to do is highlight a piece of text that you would like to reference. and then head up to the Passle button, which if you don't have, I'll show you how to install at the end. And this opens the Create a Post tab in your Passle dashboard. Now you can see the quote has been pulled through for you here, but also featured media from the article has been pulled through as well. And now all that's left for you to do is add your post title and add your insights in here. Now in this section here, we say aim for around 250 to 500 words of insights, a great place to start. Really think about, what do your clients need to know about this update? What insight can you impart onto this update, and what does it mean for the people in your network? Once you've highlighted that, in your insights section, you can then also add relevant tags to your post. Once you've selected your relevant tags here, so for example, we're selecting diversity, equity, inclusion, and employee engagement, you just simply head to save and continue. Now, the final step of creating your post is requesting approval. You'll see here, you'll have a list of approvers to choose from. You simply select your approver. You can also add in a quick note if you want something looked over or you need to check something, and very simply select your approver and hit request approval. Amy, was there anything you wanted to jump in and say about the approval process at all?
Yep. So there's a number of us on the marketing team who are in there as approvers. The thing I would ask, if you are working with somebody on the marketing team about a particular Passle that has to do with maybe a regional campaign, or if you're working with Leonie on maybe a Passle or one of the brand pieces like the Exploding Digital Mist paper, that you would tag those folks as the approver. Just because they're going to be more closely aligned to what they've asked of you or what you're working on together, or what's appropriate for the region. Just the other note on approver is that we're not looking to copy edit for you. This is your voice. This is your expertise. We're just passing an eye over it to make sure that there's no weird grammar or a misspelling or anything that would, maybe make you look bad and once you published it. So we're just looking to make sure that it all, just a second pair of eyes, and then we generally quickly approve, within a day. I think I know that sometimes I've noticed that I don't always see the requests come through. So if you do see it go a day without maybe one of us picking it up and approving it for us, just ping us and we'll jump on and get it done for you.
Right. So once that has been approved by your approver, you'll see your insight will look very much like this one here. So this is the example we just worked through, which was published by Tara back in May last year. And you can see your post title sat up here. You've got the insights that you added here. There's also the sharing links here, so you can share your insight straight away onto your chosen platform. There's a link here to the author's bio page. So if we clicked here, we'd go onto Tara's bio page and we'd see more of the content written by Tara. And as you scroll down, you can see the quote sat at the bottom and also that featured media that was pulled through at the beginning. So your post will look very much like this one when writing on a commentary basis. So the second way we'll look at creating a post is from scratch. Now, if you have something you already like to write about, you don't want to reference a third-party article, you can go ahead, head into your Passle dashboard and hit the Create a Post button at the top here. You'll see you're met with a very similar page to before, but there's no quote or image pulled through for you. So all you need to do is add your post title. Again, add your insights here. Really think about what are the key things that your clients and people in your network need to know about this topic. And select your featured media here. Now, from the media picker, you can select really any media you like. So images, videos, audio files. You've got access to Getty images that you can search and pick an appropriate image for your post. And what you can also do is you can embed media straight into the body of your post. So if you have, for example, a podcast or a video that you'd like to sit within your Passle post, you can use this icon here and simply embed that media into your post. So we can see here, we've actually taken an example of an online PDF. We can insert that straight into the body of the post, and that actually sits and is all dynamic within your post. So if you were to do this with a report, it would be dynamic and people can scroll within your Passle post. But the same with a podcast or a video, it will all play natively within your post. There's a few examples here of the different types of media and how those look within a Passle post. So on the left-hand side here, we've got an example of a podcast. It's kept the same formatting as Spotify, and when the reader of your post clicks play, that'll all play dynamically within your post. And the same here for this video example. This has been embedded straight into the Passle post. And then finally, an example of a PDF. So if you have a longer form report that you've worked on, or something that's really insightful or interesting for your clients, you can attach it to your Passle post and then use Passle to really break down the key takeaways, the key insights, and make a more deliberate and concise post with Passle. So once you've written your insight, that's fantastic. But really the next thing you want to do is share that out to those important people within your network. You've gone through the effort of creating this post. Now, how are you going to get in front of those important people? So once your post has been published, it'll go straight on to that expert insights page at insights.weareams.com. It'll also be available on the bio page. So when a reader clicks on your name, all of your content will be collected here. And it's all searchable through Google. But what we really want to think about is how are you going to effectively distribute that content out to your network? So firstly, sharing it to LinkedIn is a great way, and I'm sure that's where you keep in contact with most of your network. We also have the Client Connect tool, which I'll show you in a second. And there's also a tool called Istatoy, which is essentially a one-to-one emailing tool. So to share to LinkedIn, you can share straight from your post as soon as it's been published to the site. But what you can also do is share from your notification email once your post has been published. So you'll see the sharing icons at the bottom. Simply click LinkedIn. This will open LinkedIn within your browser. And then you add your introductory sentence or so, add any hashtags like you would any other LinkedIn post, and really simply share that out to LinkedIn within a couple of minutes. We also have a Passle app, which is available on Apple and Android devices, and you can keep on top of notifications with the app. You can also draft your posts on the app. So if you have a commute into the office, you can sit on the train, you can draft your posts and then perhaps finish them off when you get into the office. But importantly, you can stay on top of those notifications, open up any Passles posted by yourself or your colleagues, and then again, really simply share them out to LinkedIn from your mobile. So the second tool we'll look at is Client Connect. And essentially Client Connect is a preference center for your clients to sign up to receive your insights straight into their inbox. So on the AMS Expert Insights page, you may notice there's a subscribe button up here. When you click the subscribe button, clients can then select any topics that they'd like to hear about, or they can select all insights. They can also subscribe to individual authors and then select how often they would like to receive that digest. What's really useful for you and to ensure your key clients are signed up is you can invite individuals to sign up to Client Connect. So again, you would select their topics, and then you would enter your client's details, how often you think they may like to receive these insights, and send this personalized invite from your own email and ask them to sign up to AMS Expert Insights. This is a really effective strategic tool to ensure the important people in your network are seeing your insights and receiving them straight to their inbox.
As Amy said at the start, and Sabrina, that's if you join the advanced session next week, we'll go through a bit more best practice around inviting clients to subscribe. Obviously, you can rely on them to come to the page and subscribe, which will happen, and you'll generate a certain number of subscribers. But for those, once you start writing regular content for those clients and targets that are really important to you, then it's a really good idea to actually get them subscribing to your content. And there's some really strategic ways you can do that. It's not natural to always invite people to subscribe to your content or kind of send them an invite, but we can certainly share best practice around how other clients have gone about that and been really successful.
And then the final tool we'll look at is Istatoy. So this stands for I saw this and thought of you. It's essentially a one-to-one emailing tool. And it just means that you can send your insights to that one really important client and make sure it goes straight to their inbox. So when you're reading a post on the Expert Insights page, you'll see there's a small envelope icon on every post. Simply click that and it'll pop out saying you're about to share this post via email. Now, if it's your own post, you can hit just share. If you're sharing a colleague's post, if you hit share and tell the author, they get a nice notification to say that you've shared it to someone in your network. Now, this simply opens up a pre-formatted email. You can see the post title you're sharing, a quick preview, and then a link back to the post. And all you need to do is enter your recipient's email address and then enter your message into the email. And you can use this to catch up with any clients, or perhaps it's just a really interesting read that you know will be really useful and really insightful for one particular contact in your network. So again, a really nice way to send this on a more personal level via email. Now we show this example as well. It's a great example from Jean Price at Linklaters, who's allowed us to show this example. And Jean wrote a post and shared it with her contact Jack, and just said, you know, given what we've been speaking about, I thought you'd find this really useful. Sent it over, and amazingly, Jack came back and said, as if by magic, we actually have a new task around this project, and we'd love to discuss further with you. So we're not necessarily saying this is going to happen every time, but it's really a strategic way to show your clients that you're thinking about them and you're writing these insights with them in mind, and can be a really effective way of driving new business with your contacts as well.
The thing with Istatoy and the thing about making sure you're sharing this content is if you're regularly sharing relevant content with your key contacts, if you're sharing it out to LinkedIn and keeping your network up to date, then when someone does need a bit of help in a certain area or around a certain topic, you are going to be very front of mind because you've been present online, and that's really the whole point of doing this. And that's why Jean Price was so successful, because she was regularly Istatoying clients with content that she knew would be relevant for them. And eventually one came back and it was perfect timing, and that was just a lovely touch point with a client she hadn't spoken to for a while, because often a great way to kind of expand your business is in existing clients. So Istatoy is just a great touch point. If you haven't spoken to a client for a while, just use it as a way to start a conversation. Or if you've been in a meeting with a client, it's a really nice way to follow up and keep that conversation going after, and really reinforce that you have got expertise in the area that you were discussing with that client. So it's just about making this content go as far as possible. You're putting the time into writing it, and it's brilliant, the content you already have on the page. So just make sure you are then leveraging it and pushing it out to LinkedIn, making use of Istatoy and everything like that.
So really the final section for anyone who hasn't got the Passle button installed, it's a very quick and easy process. You'll need your Passle login, and then once you have logged in, you'll be prompted straight away to install the Passle button. Now, if you're using Chrome or Edge, it's very much the same setup. You simply install the extension. There's a couple of extra steps to add it to Chrome or Edge. And then the final thing to do is just head up to this puzzle piece. Now it's the same on Edge as well, and just make sure you've got the Passle button pinned to your toolbar. So once you hit this pin on Edge, I believe it's a little eye icon, but make sure that's pinned. You'll see a nice little orange octopus in the top of your toolbar, and that just means you're ready to start creating content on a commentary basis. So you can highlight a piece of text and then hit that little orange octopus, and that opens up your Passle dashboard for you.
I think most people on this call have already got Passle accounts. If you don't, just chat to Sabrina and she can get you set up with your Passle credentials. And then, yeah, just sometimes we see that you might have installed the button, but just make sure you pin it on your browser, because then when you're on an article and you have an idea to get going, it's always going to be visible. And any issues with that, obviously get in touch with Sabrina, Amy, or myself and Liv. We'll share our details at the end and we can get you all set up. I think hopefully the majority are, but any issues, just shout out.
I will say one note with the button is we often are not allowed to just go in and add a Chrome extension ourselves. So you may have to make a quick call into Endava to give you the privileges to do that, and then they'll close it back up again. But they did that for us for all of our Passle users last year, and it wasn't an issue. But do get in touch if you run into a snag. The one other thing before Sabrina gets into some of the onboarding and beyond is, well, we're super excited to have all of you. I encourage you also thinking about your team and your teammates. If you think that there are other experts that would be good at this, would enjoy this, would have something to share, please do get in touch and or encourage them to get in touch with us, and we can get them set up as well. You know, I think we're always looking at quality over quantity, but in this case, this is a great tool, and we just really want as many people who are interested and have something to say to join and contribute. So, Sabrina.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Sarah and Olivia. So now that we have explored how to use Passle, let's look at the next steps on your Passle journey. After this training session, you'll be guided to visit our onboarding and beyond area on our brand portal. Here you'll see a setup checklist and all of the relevant documentation and collateral that you'll need, including your featured image deck for cropping Passle featured post imagery, our tone of voice guidelines, and an overview one-pager that you can share with your colleagues who may be interested in using Passle. There are also 4 guides, which are key to creating your perfect Passle post and maximizing your readership. The Passle guides include an editorial excellence guide, a guide on all features and functionality, an I Amplify guide to ensure that your posts get in front of the people who really matter, and a measuring success guide on your vanity metrics and commercial impact. You'll also see your personal Passle plan for everything from brainstorming your ideas to choosing your blog content type and measuring your success. Your personal Passle plan includes full instructions on where to start, what to read, and how to craft your AMS Expert Insights post. Your personal Passle plan will act as a plan/directory hybrid. We encourage you to keep all of the content that is currently in this plan, but also build it out and make it your own. We hope that you have found all of the insights and knowledge shared during this session both exciting and inspiring, and we look forward to reading your Passle posts. So after this call, we will be sending out a follow-up email with a link to all of the above mentioned documentation and guides on our brand portal, and you'll also receive the recording of this training session as soon as it becomes available. So now we'd love to open the floor to hear any questions and take any feedback.
We had a few questions in the chat box, but those are
Oh,
answered
good.
around the just around the approval list. I think the one actually, the screenshot we had was maybe a little bit of an old one. So if you do want any approvers adding, obviously, Amy, that can go through you, and we're happy to add them on our end. And same with that tag list. That list is really to keep tags consistent. What we don't want is people entering the same version of a tag. You know, there's 3 different ways to spell COVID-19. So that's just to keep tagging really consistent, and that makes an impact when you're pulling content across your website at a later date and things like that. So again, that's something to just run by Amy, Sabrina, if you want any tags adding to that list, and we can set them up really easily.
Yep. We have tried to take into consideration most of our subjects and solutions and sort of topics and themes that we cover. But if there is something that is not there that you think you'll be personally passing about, or that is coming as a theme, please do get in touch and we can add that.
We just had a question from Richard saying, can you remind me how we tag people into the body of our Passles? What did you mean in terms of that, Richard? Is that co-authoring content, or is that just linking out to someone else's profile page? Or I assume that the first one, co-authoring.
I'll just come on the chat. Yeah, it's a bit like LinkedIn, where we're writing a post and we might put at James Brown or at Teresa Smith, so that they connect into it. And I kind of missed that when we were talking about it.
Yeah, so in terms of in the body of the Passle post, that would just be done like a hyperlink. So you wouldn't use the at symbol. You just, if you wanted to link off to someone else, then just use our hyperlink functionality, and I can show you that in a second. But okay. The main use of the at will be when you're sharing to LinkedIn. So if you have co-authored a post, or if you've written something that's also relevant to one of your colleagues, or even someone on your network, then when you're sharing it, make sure you just include that @ symbol and on LinkedIn, because that will then include them in the share. But in terms of in the Passle post, it would just be like a link if you're linking to another website or something like that, which is pretty simple to do. I'll send you a screenshot after, Richard, just make sure that covers your question as well.
Thanks.
Any other questions, or can we give people a bit of time back?
Yeah, maybe one question. Sorry. Are any of the images that are available? Because you told us that there's like this image stock that we can use within Passle. Do they come with image descriptions to make them accessible, or are these to be redacted by ourselves?
So it's a really good question, actually. So we link with Getty Images automatically. So in terms of what they provide, that will be by default. I think you might be able to put an image description as well behind an uploaded image if you upload one natively, but I'll just have to double check that. But it's definitely something that's been raised before. So let me just double check what we do and what Getty do, and then we can make sure that it's accessible. But we definitely do have some things in place for that.
All right, thanks.
Good question.
Hi, Sarah. Just a quick one from me and Passle team. In terms of if we see an article that we think somebody else might want to Passle about, or we can do that kind of, hey, I've seen this and I think could you have a look at it? Is that something you're planning on covering next week, or is there a way you could just quickly run through it this week? Either or is fine. It's just to make sure that, because I think it's such a nice, especially if you're talking about sort of cross-pollinating some of the conversations that we're having, not everybody will always see the same article, and it can be just a really nice way of bringing people to the Passle party.
Yeah, definitely. Liv, do you want to just quickly show that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just while Olivia is pulling that up, I think that is one thing that you probably want to just be aware of that can show up as a notification for you, is because I know this has happened for Leonie, is that she's seen something and said, oh, this would be a really great thing for Paul Maudley or whomever to Passle about, because it's right in their wheelhouse. She can do what Olivia is about to show you, and it sends it to him and saying, hey, this would be great. But we just want to make sure that that that's coming. You just keep an eye on what's happening within Passle as well, and the notifications you're getting.
I've also done it wrong in the past, so it's a cautionary tale for everybody that there are right ways and wrong ways.
Yeah, absolutely. So all you would need to do really is if you would highlight something that you think would be a good quote, simply highlight it and hit the Passle button just like you would if you were going to write the post yourself. What this will then do is pull up the create a post dashboard, but all you can do here is select send a suggestion.
Yeah.
And then in here, you wouldn't have the client section, but you can enter the recipient name. So Leonie, you could send it to Amy, enter Amy's name, and then it does say you could sprinkle some brilliance on this. Do feel free to change this if you would like to, but you can leave the rainbows and unicorns, enter your message, and then send that suggestion over to the other individual, and they'll receive that. They can open it up and then add their title and insights.
Perfect. Thank you very much. That's very simple and much simpler than the way I've been trying to do it. So that's brilliant. Thank you.
That'll be sent via an email, but also there'll be a notification if you receive that in your Passle dashboards. As Amy said, just bookmark the Passle homepage, and then you can keep an eye on your notifications. I think that's in Sabrina's documentation as well, just as best practice. And then from the admin dashboard, Sabrina and Amy can actually see which posts have been converted and how useful they were as suggestions. So definitely a good feature. It keeps everything in the Passle platform as opposed to separate emails.
Good, thank you.
Yep. I have seen there's a bunch of drafts in there. I don't know if you guys have seen that as well. So don't be shy. I think some of you have started some brilliant stuff in there. So, carry on. I know sometimes you start a thought and you go away and you come back and you think, oh, should I finish that? But I've seen some really good stuff in there that hasn't been moved on. So, you know, don't be shy. Great. Well, thank you. As Sabrina said, we will send out an email with the link to this recording and to those documents that she's created to give you all the tools that you need. But if anything comes up, please don't be shy. You know, ping us and we can help you with this stuff. But thank you all for coming and taking the time out. I really appreciate it. Thank you,
Thanks very
Olivia and
much.
Sarah.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so
Thanks,
much.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Passle team.
Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.